apologize again about this lighting. I'm really trying to work on that. But I just wanted to do a little diggy. I wanted to tell you first off, don't buy a Book of Shadows. I've seen some of them, they were like $239. Don't go crazy. Most of you already know this, but some of you don't. So that's why I really wanted to tell you, and I want to get into 3 different types of witches that there are, just some of the things, because I can literally make a video on just one type, like full, all the stuff that I've researched, all the stuff that I know. So we're gonna get into it, but I want to tell you, don't buy a Book of Shadows. You can make your own. Your notebook is your Book of Shadows, okay? You can make it as pretty as you like. I wish you could see this better, but I've shown it in other videos. It says believe in your own magic. And you know what? Journal, and I wrote Book of Shadows on the back. I don't know, I think it was like $2. But anyway, let's get down to the different types of witches that there are. Now, I apologize that I have to read this, but you know me, I forget. So, going forward, I wish I could fix this light, but I can't. That's great, Raven. Alright, going forward, I should probably just bring you on my place of solace. I'm sorry, guys. We have the eclectic witch, which I'm going to explain later in the video a little more of that. Traditional witch, I'm sorry, the type, yeah. We have the eclectic witch. We have the traditional witch, folkloric witch, the green witch, the head witch, and the kitchen witch. That's 5 different ones, but I think I only covered 3. So apologies on that. Because it's big topics, eclectic witch pulls from different, which I can tell you, they pull from different religions. Usually, like, I do have things like divination, tarot cards, scrying. Like, I'm into wax scrying. I'm into anything psychic, which I've always been into, even before I realized my path. You know, I've always been spiritual, but then I became more and more spiritual, and that didn't even have anything, to me, it wasn't connecting with witchcraft, you know. But we still practice magic with natural elements around us. We may leave religion completely out and do our own thing with the practice. Simply practice magic based on our own intentions, which does pretty much cover what we do. Like, if you look at all the different types of witches, like, there's bits and pieces in there that I do. Some of it's like almost describes me completely because I'm an eclectic witch. I'm pulling from different things that suit me. Okay, that's an eclectic witch. That's just a quick, and this I want to explain is a quick summary on it, so I hope I don't get anyone angry. I hope everyone understands. This is just a quick idea, you know, the different types of witches. Traditional folkloric witch, which I also consider myself in some ways to be. This is based on traditional folkloric accounts of witchcraft. They usually look up a lot of how their ancestors practiced folklore, folk magic, and ancient myths, including wood cutting, shape shifting, and more. You know, like my grandmother, I would always think about how my grandmother cured my woods, and I'm like, something's up with Graham. Never met my grandmother. She lived far away. My grandfather was a mountain man. My dad said my great grandmother and great grandfather were mountain women and mountain men. And if you look up mountain women, you will see they were like almost shamanistic in a way. They were like the medicine woman. They were witches, you know. To me, a witch, unless you want to be called a warlock, is male or female. I guess I have it able up. So, I know I read a couple of things. They use stuff from traditional folklore such as mirrors, herbs, candles, and more, which is all things, of course, I do. You guys have seen some videos. You know, because there's things that they literally, like, and this is the thing about part of why I wanted to do this video, labels. It's very hard to label things when you really look deep into it. Like, I look outside the box and I look inside the box too. I'm like, I analyze shit. You know, they use, like, green witches. Alright, so that's just, okay. They use stuff from traditions, folklore, such as mirrors, herbs, candles, and more. Oh, green witches, also called garden witches. I don't know, I got lost in the folklore thing. I don't know why I was supposed to talk a lot about that, but I think I missed a page here. Traditional folklore, this is based on traditional folkloric accounts of witchcraft. They usually look up a lot of how the ancestors practiced folklore, folk magic. Like, they may incorporate that into their practice, which is also something I do too. Like, you look up old recipes, or you look up old you know, like what did my grandmother, if you like, like spells your grandmother had and stuff, which I would so do if I knew all of them. You know, I only know which one she like had us put our hair and bark of a specific tree. I wore till gone. So they can smell much jumbo all you want, but are you serious? I'm sorry, just a second. Alright, so alright, again with yes, the eclectic witch pulls from different religions, we talked about that. The traditional folkloric witch, so this is someone that, you know, like likes to work on things like the old school, like how witches did things. They like to look up how witches did things back in the days and things like that. You know, so like I said with my grandmother, I wish I just knew all her spells. Like if I found one of her grimoires or something, it would be so fucking cool. They use stuff from traditional folklore such as various herbs, candles, and more. And like I was saying, there are candle witches. Like there's so many labels, and you really can't just label everything. A witch is a witch, but there are kind of differences, I guess. Because there's also the cottage witch, where I did one of these like surveys one time, and it said I was a cottage witch, and I'm like, yeah, because I live in the city, and I have to do. You know what I mean? Like, but okay. But I probably would practice indoors a lot of the time, but I would also practice outdoors. Like, I really like it all. Green witches, also called garden witches, they practiced most of their craft in the garden or among the greenery. They have interest in plants and most likely have a green thumb. I really think they most likely, I wrote this down because they most likely either have a green thumb or they just have their own garden or they're interested in it. Okay, so if this is you, most likely you are probably one. They have their own garden or they want their own garden in which they can grow. They will speak with the plants, maybe even make offerings to the plants to use these in their craft. Like they use plants in their spells, charms, which I do, rituals in their cooking. Yep, they may have a working partnership with their plants, such as pixies, gnomes, nymphs, and so forth. Like any type of fairy thing like that, you know, they kind of almost like pray to them or work have like some type of relationship with them, and that would also I think go into fairy witches. Do you get what I'm saying? So this is why I'm talking about labels here, and it's so funny because I have my flying oil recipe, which is actually not mine. I'm sorry. This is the lovely Lady Grave Dances, and I know I mentioned her a lot, but she was a huge inspiration years ago to me. Still is. So yes, watch her, check her out. I would plug her down. I would put that video in the box below if I knew how to do that, because I'm not tech savvy, guys. I don't have an awesome camera and all that, so sorry. But you can check her out. You know, check her out. She's awesome. All right. The Green Witch. They can most likely identify. This is different than the Hedge Witch. Identify local trees, wildflowers, and wild-growing herbs. They can tell the difference from a poisonous or medicinal plant. So they know like which ones would. You know, some people kind of wanna use not all the poisonous stuff, but maybe a little bit of it, like me. I'm a little bit of a risk taker. You know, like some people like, you don't want to fuck with belladonna and things like that. And I'm all like, yes, please. Like a little bit, just a little bit. My friend's like, she's gonna die. She's gonna die. One of these, like, God forbid, but heaven forbid, Buddha forbid, whoever forbid, okay? I'm sorry. Growing herb, like they know wild herbs. They can identify wild herbs, wild flowers, you know. And the hedge witch, which often is confused with the green witch, different. Just listen to this one because this one was new to me. One who crosses the hedge in order to, which is a shaman, basically the same thing, okay? One who crosses the hedge in order to acquire answers from the spiritual realm or to explore their otherworldly abilities on a deeper level. A hedge witch is not a garden or green witch. People confuse the three. Hedge crossing is astral projection, lucid dreaming. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. Shamanic work, often they meet their ancestors. If one was a dreamer, they had the ability, like years ago, they had the ability to cross over between here and the astral plane. You can do it with running deep meditation, which I do, trance, like running that music at work. I did it last night. If one was a dreamer, they had the ability to cross over between here and the astral plane, which was crossing the hedge. That's what they called it. You can do it with running deep meditation and trance work by using drumming, rattling, and more. Like some people like that. Ah! That's not exactly it. It could be just playing it on YouTube and listening to it, having crystals or whatever you want, candles, however you want to do it, getting into a meditative state and plumping out there, astral projecting, or doing it in your sleep, which is what I did last night. And every time I do it, guys, I always wake up super fucking late, and like I'll remember maybe one specific thing, or I'll remember a whole bunch of things, and it's like if I don't write it right down, I'll forget it, and it's so weird because it's only when I do that that happens to me. It's more specific. And I did see something I told you guys on live that I was like, what the fuck is that? I literally saw like a purple, almost like a purple cloak. I didn't see a head. I saw like it looked like a dark ass like but bright, vivid shadow kind of just walking by, just chilling. You know, I was like, okay. And then we're gonna just go crossing the line between the mundane world to the other plane. Shamans did this. Into the spiritual realm. The broomstick thing was thought to be a metaphor for witches crossing the hedge, a medieval term. Now let me tell you a little bit more about the broomstick thing that is not mentioned in any article I've seen. Well, actually, no, it was mentioned like when I was looking it up a while ago on Google. You know, they would anoint their private parts with witches back in the day. And I don't know if they had, I mean, witches did have brooms to sweep out negative energy, things like that. So when you put all these things together, and they're flying and they have the broom, I don't know if they actually sat on it while their private parts were anointed, but maybe that was put in with someone's imagination or whatever. And they were thought to be flying on their broomsticks because they're flying, they're traveling, they're moving out of their body. Get it? Okay. So that's it for that one, just because I'm trying to do a few different, like 4 witches. I think I covered 3 or 4 witches, so we'll just say 3, I don't know. Kitchen witches, home and hearth, incorporating all their chores, etc., into a magical practice. Using herbs, they will enchant the food, which I do all of this. They will enchant the food before feeding the family. They may look up ancestor recipes, and also they'll use like they'll know what herbs to use. Like I do, like I'll put if I'm making my mom tea, or I'm making myself some tea, I'll throw a cinnamon stick for extra protection. The sugar to sweeten her up. I will enchant it. I will actually enchant it, and I've given it to her, and I've seen her in a great mood. Like I shit you not. Like so, I do believe in that. Like just to give it a good setting, and like at maybe like a Thanksgiving's coming up, so you might stuff the rosemary inside the turkey, so when the family eats it, they're protected. You do a protection spell over it. You don't even have to say it out loud. I mean, sometimes saying it out loud, in my opinion, getting that emotion and vibration up, which I think is another type of witch, which we'll get into in the next video, and you'll be able to see me a lot better. Apologies for that. Is a different type of witch. So there's so many different types of witches that it's crazy, guys, but this is just some things on it. Like the kitchen witch is just someone that's all about the home and the hearth and the abundance and the family, and you know, I mean, I'm sure there's more things. If there's more things that I left out, feel free to put it in. Like, I'm not saying I'm covering everything here because I'm not. Like I said, I'd have to do another whole video. And as far as books of shadows go, guys, you can seriously make your own. Buy a cool, cheap notebook that looks like one of the older ones. You can do that. I've seen them. I have a ton of books of shadows. Some are just regular notebooks. Some are binders. Some are like this. One says dreams on it. It is my dream journal, but I write poetry and all types of stuff. I mean, I'm a jack of all trades. I do so many things that, you know, and also, they say like with the eclectic witch will most likely be into tarot cards and divination, and that like I said in the beginning, that wasn't something that I did. Do you know what I'm saying? Because like I just found this out. You know what I mean? And it's kind of cute and cool how it fits together, I guess. But you know, we're not evil. We're not, like, I'm always going to point that out because there's people that watch this channel that are not witches and they want to put it out there. We are just manifesting. If you see things about manifestation, same thing. We're just using herbs that incorporate those things that herbs were used for protection back in the day, blah, blah, blah. This is a protective herb. Even today, in today's shampoos, I'm going to do my next video on beauty witches, or I don't know the name of them, but glamour. Glamour was a word for magic. We're going to get all into the enchanting our beauty products. in our next video. So please stay with me. Please like and subscribe if you do. And leave a comment if I left anything out, or you're interested in knowing anything, or you want me to do a video on something else. I sure will. Take care, guys, and more tarot to come. Love yous all. Bye-bye.